big hit will hurt you. Like, since that last live.
I'm going to cut Joe off right here. Yo, Joe, stick to dating Dominican. I love you, brother. But if you think Burna Boy's wave is because of Last, like he's a one-hit wonder, you know nothing about Afrobeats. I'm an Afrobeats connoisseur. So if you're talking about Davido, if you're talking about Thames, if you're talking about Wizkid, you're talking about if you're talking about Burna Boy, if you're talking about Asaka, it's so much depth to this. Listen, yes, U.S. mainstream may have called on him with Last. This guy's a prolific musician. His album after Love Domini is, it's okay. Because I think he tried to do songs with 21 Savage. He was kind of like almost embracing being a New York African. But Love Domini is absolute classic. African Giant classic. Like, bro, when I went to City Feel, it wasn't a bunch of, it was ethnic people who were descendants of immigrants or people, like a lot of Nigerians, Ghanaians. It was Kenyans. I do think he does have, I do think some of the attitude stuff is like playing a part into stuff. And yes, he doesn't have a current hit, but he's not a one-hit wonder. Do not act like Last is the thing that put him on. He did a stadium. None of the you like, Joe, could do a stadium. That's a fact. Joel Santana can't do it. Like all here. So, I want to defend Burna Boy a bit because Burna Boy is a goat. Sorry to tell y'all.
Since that last live, now everybody shadow, like they start expecting you to start producing like that at that clip. And if you don't, I don't think Burna Boy's had a record anywhere near that record. He's been on joints.
Cap. I want to say that's cap. Cap. This is where, Joe is a casual of Afro beats. There's a lot more going on. Yes, some of it is the attitude. Some of it is the fans are saying, yo, we feel like you're looking down on us. He doesn't have a hit. He didn't fill a stadium just because of Last. Because when I went to that concert at City Field, it wasn't a bunch of white people there. When you're filling a stadium like Kendrick did with GNX Tour because of Not Like Us or whatever, you see a bunch of white people there just because they identify with one song. Like Jollof Rice up in there at City Field. 45,000 people sold. That's a fact. This is a bona fide star. He just has to get a couple things right, I definitely believe.
Yeah, he been on joints. He got joints, though.
When you set the bar for yourself early, they start looking at you to produce that way. Not just fans, but the labels. It hurts. It hurts. So,
that's another thing that I disagree with Joe with. When it comes to Puerto Rican artists, when it comes to like the Bad Bunnies, the Anuels, the Rochi, the Young Chimmy, all of those artists that go in Hispanic music or music that's more in line with Dominican Republic, and also when it comes to Central C, when it comes to, that's a UK artist, when it comes to all these Afrobeat artists, this is where I think this is outside, respectfully, I love Joe, this is outside Joe's realm, because I'm an international nigga. I was born in Jamaica. That's a fact. It ain't about labels that get popping. It's not labels. There's no label that could take credit for Central C. There's no label that could actually take credit for Bad Bunny. There's no label that takes credit for Anuel. There's no label that takes credit for Thames. None of that. This is culture and the diaspora of whether it's Hispanic music, Latin culture, African music, African culture. That flows through the Caribbean, everywhere. This is not labels. I want to let y'all know. If we talking about some nigga in New York, that's labels. These people that are coming to sell out stadiums in the United States, and they're not from the United States, it's not because of labels. If the labels could do that, they would grab a nigga from Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, Mozambique, and say, that's popping in the United States.
You
Not
set the bar
happening.
so high for
is going
yourself
crazy.
early, they start looking at you to produce.
Yo, put it like this. There's a Puerto Rican nigga, like, first of all, there's Puerto Rican niggas that come over here and do arenas, and there's niggas in New York that do hip hop that can't do arenas. It's not about labels, my nigga. It's about culture. If you haven't,
Yo, it's Big Ant the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on this Burna Boy conversation that has been getting a lot of steam on the internet, on Twitter and things for the last few days in regards to his latest concert tickets not performing so well. And now they even kind of putting out there, I think possibly 2 shows have been canceled also, and his actions, things he's done to his fans, and different people been weighing in on it as opposed to what he had going on a couple years ago where he was able to sell out a stadium. To my understanding, the conversation starts, is he falling off? What is it really? And you heard what Akademiks had to say right there as he went in the opposite of what Joe Budden was saying. Well, hey, bro, yeah, it's a lot going on, but hey, really, he don't have that hit like he used to at that time with that last. So it happens like this in the game, and that's what it is. It ain't no debate about it. Yes, the stuff of his attitude could be playing a role, but back a few years ago, bro had that super massive hit that went crazy. Yeah, he got other joints, as they saying, but it don't have that same level of impact, because if it did, the shows will be sold out. Let's call it for what it is. It just happens like this at times in the game. But when I hear what Akademiks said right there, I'm like, that ain't it to me, bro. That's like I'm a fan of this more. I rock with this more. I'm an immigrant as well, so I'm aligned with that and downplay what y'all got going on. And that's disrespectful for me to hear that, because it's like that gaslighting, make this apply to you, but it don't apply to me, or make this apply to y'all, but it don't apply to us, because all of the artists he named are signed to record labels, all of them. So you can't go sign to a record label as an Afrobeat artist and then say it's successful because of the culture. The labels don't got nothing to do with this. It's not the labels that got these artists that big. It's the culture that got them that big. When American artists do it, or a New York dude do it, one of these bum New York rappers, or that could be signified for any rapper in America. Hey, when they sign, it's the labels that turn them up. No, bro. No. That's not how that go. Because of the simple fact, we know the game already. The blueprint is set. When an artist is working, they build a buzz, they get a following, they get a demographic. Artists been rapping for years and years and years. The label throws gasoline on the fire. Same thing for Afrobeat artists. Same thing for Puerto Rican artists. Same thing for any artist, because they go to the label for that reason. And he knows that. So when I hear that, I'm like, nah, bro, that ain't it. That ain't how that go. And then even to the level of saying, like, when you go to a Kendrick Lamar show, it'd be white kids there, these other people, Asian, Mexican, everybody's there at these shows, and they're there for one song so much, not as opposed to the culture and the artistry and everything like that. I'm like, nah, bro, that's another incorrect statement. Kendrick Lamar been having crazy shows. He been turned up. He had to build up for the level to get to the stadium where he can do a stadium tour. He caught that hit, he caught that moment, and he used it. Same thing that they did for Burna Boy. He caught the moment with the last, and you keep saying culture as well. Like, fam, the song Last is a sample of an R&B classic hit record from Tony Braxton, Wasn't Man Enough for Me. They used to have that on repeat every day when I was a kid, bro. So just hearing you say this and this and that, it's like, why does it always got to be that in the game with us, when all these bum rappers, or these rappers can't do that, but we have rappers that can go to all of these artists that got named countries and sell out major venues, major places, major arenas, that Futures, your NBA Youngboys, your Rod Waves, your Kendrick Lamar, your J. Cole's, they go to all these countries that these artists that got named and do shows and sell them out. Big turnout all over the globe. But there's a bunch of artists in those others that are having the same culture as Burna Boy, as a Bad Bunny, as this and that, they can't get none of that crowd that those guys got. You want to know why? Because they didn't make it. They not that big. They still trying to figure it out. They still trying to become stars. And their plan is to get over here to America to become a star. So when I hear Akademiks push to this, bro, you're downplaying the culture. You're downplaying the American culture. And you're downplaying the rap acts to like lift that up. And I just got to come speak against that. This is about information. This is about facts. This is about reality. And you pushing this side of it, nah, bro, that ain't how that go where everything, because it's like you really just want to say, y'all ain't got no culture. Y'all ain't got no culture over here. But everything that we do is a part of our culture. You're working in it. Hip-hop is Black American culture that you're working in. And this is where you got your name and your fame and everything from, not Afro beats. And a part of Afro beats come from American culture as well. Fela Kuti would say it out his own mouth. He was influenced by a Dizzy Gillespie, a Miles Davis, a James Brown with rock and roll and funk and jazz. These are all American created genres of music, bro. So it's like you just make it, it's so deep, it's so deep. Yeah, you have other artists over there, but we know where it comes from too. We hear the sounds, we hear the melodies, we hear the vibes of it. We know what it is. We've been hearing these songs and things like that. We know it's significant to y'all country, but you can't come downplay what we got going over here to uplift that and make it seem like this is better. And you can't use the same 4 or 5 artists that are super duper successful and then say, well, they doing better than all these artists over here. When, like a Central C, bro, like, come on, he doing his thing, he going up, he lit. No doubt about it. But he signed with a record label as well to do a sound and style of music that drill that come from Chicago. Like, what are we really doing? So it's several layers to this conversation. I could go on about it all day long. To me, Akademiks is wrong, and I'll stand on that. I would talk to him in person, face to face about this. Like, I would go, like, I would. If he wants to, he can holler at me. I'll go to New York, New Jersey, wherever, and talk about this, because this is downplaying us, bro. This is disrespecting us as a culture, making, oh, well, y'all ain't this, the culture this, the culture that. Everything we doing is culture over here as well. And they sign the labels, we sign the labels. It's artists over there in their countries that can't perform and sell out venues like we can. And it's artists over here right now that sell out the same venues that Burna Boy can't sell out. Just keeping it all the way 100. And at the end of the day, whatever reason his record, I'm not going to call him a one-hit wonder if he got a catalog, but if you don't have a hit at that highest level and then you're not able to do what you was doing at that same level, you've taken a decline. But there's artists, Travis Scott even, if he didn't have the Astroworld stuff go on, he could go over there to the same venue, even NRG Stadium in Houston, not just the Toyota Center, the stadium. And if they pre-plan it, he don't do no concerts, they market it right, he can fill up that stadium by itself because he's that level of an artist. We just seen how big them Travis Scott shows that been overseas, where who know, it looked like one of them Woodstock things with DMX, where it just looked crazy out there. But he got that type of following. It's all about the following, how they market it, how they brand it, and it take a label to get you to that level, bro. You can't say it ain't labels for them, but for the American artists, it's based on the labels. Yes, it's some that work out more than others when the label get behind them. So you can't just go and pick a Joe Smo off the street. You got to have something that they can throw a gasoline on. But to push it like that, nah, bro, you can't downplay us. It's like every time these conversations of performance and money come up, they just compare them to the low-level rappers or the rappers that's mid-level or the rappers that's making a name for themselves. Why y'all don't compare it to the Beyoncés and the top acts who we know can sell out these same venues or sell out stadiums wherever they go at the same spots? It's like, let's just go after the rappers that we know that they don't compare to. That's like gaslighting to me. And it's just like the circle talk. Nah, I can't get with that. Joe was speaking the direct facts right there, bro, of how these things work. It don't take you to be able to be deep in the Afrobeat knowledge to know that they have a cultured following, a cultured demographic. But the business is the business. How the stadium sell is how the stadium sell. The low ticket sales are what they are. It is what it is. Stay on your pivot. We got more coming, more videos, all that 1,000 for shit show. And I'm going to go live about this later to talk more in depth on it, because it's like, this is a long conversation to have. Stay on your pivot.